All right, y'all. Welcome back to episode 9.
Peace, beautiful people. Welcome back.
I gotta laugh. All right, y'all. You know, if y'all are following us on YouTube or Instagram, don't forget to like, share, comment, tweet, post, all of that. And if you are new, I'm not going to spell it out for you guys this time, but follow us on YouTube and Instagram at Majestically Eternal. Okay? I got to pronunciate it for the folks.
Yeah. I mean, you know, if you catch the other YouTube video, she has spelled it for you if you need the spelling. But if you are tuning into this YouTube video, you should be able to just click on our YouTube channel and you will find everything that you need to find. And we are available on all major streaming podcast platforms. Yes, Apple Podcasts is actually our main platform. So you can just go to the Apple Podcast app and type in Soul Talk Majestically Eternal Conversations.
Tap in. Tap
in.
All right, y'all. And just for those who don't know, we can tell them I am Queen B, Bray B. All right, Natural Honey. Don't forget my 3 Ys. And this is my sis. You know, last time you met. My co-host.
Yeah, they don't know about that. But yes, I am the co-host.
You know, you like,
I'm She's Soulful. Right. I know at first, you know, I had to look it up, had to make sure now.
That's right.
But yes, I am the co-host. Not only the co-host, but the little sis and the business partner. Yes, she is older. Not too.
I tell them I'm old.
Well, you're not old, but you know, they be thinking that, you know, the same age.
How old are you?
She's my older sister. You know, I've learned from her, you know, we've grown together. You would think that I'm her age.
You really right. That's your business.
Exactly. But I'm She's Soulful. You can find me on Instagram at She's Soulful. SHESOULFUL. I want y'all to add like a double S or something.
Double L's.
Thanks.
None of that. It's just
period.
She's Soulful. And then, you know, my niece is here as well.
Yes.
Baby A.
Yes. Thank you.
See how I did that? Because, you know, last time she got mad at that too, y'all.
So they didn't see those. All of that is bloopers.
I know, but, you know what? You're right, because I put it on Facebook.
Oh, yeah.
We're on Facebook too if y'all want to find us, but I'm not going to tell you where or how.
Well, we're on our separate pages on Facebook.
So if you know me personally,
or
you know my first name, last name, then you can find me on Facebook. But if you can't, then that's it. Yeah. You know.
Most importantly, we are on Instagram at _natural honey with the 3 Ys, and at She's Soulful, and at Majestically Eternal.
There we go.
You can find us on all 3 of those pages at Instagram. Okay.
Yes. All right. Moving on, sis. Boom. Today's topic. What is today's topic? You always do it. I did the last.
That's why I ain't saying nothing. I was just gonna go.
I thought she was gonna be like,
I know, but you gonna do the quote first.
Oh,
Today's topic is life-changing literature.
Did you notice that there's 3 L's there?
I really didn't.
Anywho,
but you know, that is the topic of today. That is the sole topic of today. Today, sis and I just wanted to talk about literature, which, you know, is just books that have stuck with us, have either just been books that were, you know, let's say for fun or for entertainment, but still stuck with us, or those books that really have changed our life, you know, have resonated with our soul, have even helped with this evolution and this soul work and this soul growth that we are doing.
How we are, where we are, how did we get here?
Yes.
The knowledge that we have.
Period. So let's get into these quotes of the day.
All right, y'all. Books give a soul to the universe. All right. Don't recall what I was going to say. I'm just playing, y'all. Okay, let me start over for y'all, right? Books give a soul to the universe, wings to the mind, flight to the imagination, and life to everything.
Girl.
And that's by Unknown.
That is a beautiful quote.
Thank you. I see, and I was like, soul. I'm going to just use that.
Yeah, but it it really speaks volumes. Let me look at it one more time.
I wrote it down today, y'all.
Okay.
It's nice though.
Read it again, Paul.
One more time.
While you read it, I'm just gonna be
Listen.
I'm gonna let it resonate a little bit more.
All right. Books give a soul to the universe, wings to the mind, flight to the imagination, and life to everything.
Yeah, that's a very powerful quote. We definitely needed to open up with that quote because it does give a soul to the universe. You know, reading is fundamental. Excuse me.
Fundamentals.
Yeah.
No, reading is very fundamental. You know,
reading is.
I like reading.
Yeah.
And you know, back in my day, you know, she said I was, you know, the older sister.
She's like, we on the same day.
All right, y'all, for real. You know, but back then I was reading. You know what? I was forced to read. There's a difference between.
You mean like in school?
Yeah. There's a difference between wanting to read and you're forced to read. You know, remember that? I know y'all probably had. For some of you had to read X amount of books to get like a treat or a toy or what was a gift or something like that. I know you know.
I think we had to. They did give us a reading list for English
to read the books. Yeah. So if you like forcing me to read,
a lot of the books in school, just to be honest, didn't really hold substance. So I see what she's saying. When you're like forced to read, especially in school, when the book doesn't hold substance, it doesn't, you know, give life to your soul. It doesn't give imagination to you. I'm really trying to repeat the quote, but I don't know if the quote was that good. But it doesn't.
But you was all right on.
Well, you know, really, I said it doesn't give life to your soul. It really doesn't. I mean, it doesn't move you. I'm just saying like that. When you're forced to read in school, it's not moving you.
It's what they want you to read. And
exactly.
That's stuff that you need to delete. Really, delete that out your brains. That ain't true. But it's true for them, but it ain't true for us.
Exactly. And as we all know, a lot of what we have to do when it comes to reading for ourselves is unlearning and relearning. We have to real life unpack what has been embedded in us and these narratives that they gave us in school and just start relearning what really resonates with our soul, what really speaks to our soul's journey, our life experience, our human experience. You know, we can't rely on everything in school
because it's false. It's my mad face.
You guys,
y'all can't see it here on the anchors, but this is my mad face.
But I'm going to.
But yes, let's get into your
proceed with my quote. It isn't Bray's quote, but it's, you know, still a quote that kind of just speaks to what we've already been talking about. It does tie in with Sis's quote. So it says, "We lose ourselves in books. We find ourselves there too." This quote is unknown. So that basically kind of just speaks to unlearning and relearning. Yeah. You know, because it's a lot of people, I would like to say, especially with the younger generations now, who are in public school, who really don't like to read, and you know, they're just like electronic children, you know, electronic babies, and
it's really sad.
Yeah, because it's just not, you know, it's
not the
babies.
same.
That's not what we are.
It's not the same.
But I see why though. You know, like you said, you're being forced to read stuff that just, like, matter of fact, I'm gonna just bring it up. You know, we had to read why did they have me reading The Lord of the Rings?
Not The Lord of the
Rings.
Yes. You had to read it.
And I was gonna say in elementary, but no, girl, in high school.
Lord of the Rings.
Lord of
good
the
movies. I like the movies, I'll say that, but the book they had you.
Yeah, and then you know,
report due.
Yeah, so you know, we could watch the movie too.
What school was that? Let me talk to you.
Well, actually, you know, I spent 1 year at Sci-Fair, and then my other 3 years at Sci Springs. So at Sci-Fair,
I was going to say Sci Springs, but I didn't get that.
Yeah, no, it was Sci-Fair, and you know, Sci-Fair, they had me reading The Lord of the Rings, and that held no substance. Like that did not matter to me. You know what I'm saying? But of course, I did what I had to do.
Yeah.
I can't even remember any book aside from To Kill a Mockingbird that really caught my interest. Yeah, because it was an interesting book. Yeah, it was. I was a little racist.
Yeah. Wasn't the movie too? I like the movie too.
Yeah, the movie.
I need to go back and see.
I think it
what
was
kind
a
of
little
movie. Yeah, I need to go back and read it. Not even read, just skim through.
Yeah, I think it was a little
Google.
racist.
I'm gonna Google it because I'm not gonna read it again.
I already know.
Lie to nobody.
I already know.
I think I had to do a report on that. Matter of fact,
I
they
think
had me do that in college though.
Oh, really? And that's another thing.
That was only book I knew. You know, they give you a list, but I was like, ooh, I know that.
Oh, you had to just pick a book and do a report?
Yeah. But it wasn't. It was a list that I didn't even know what number it was at that point.
That's another thing when it comes to college, you know. Y'all need to stop repeating what we doing in high school. Stop trying to dumb individuals down. Please. Let's stop doing that. You know, we can really speak on that when it comes to books.
Mm-hmm.
If you're gonna put some books into, you know, these children's lives or these young adults' lives or these adult lives, stop trying to dumb us down. Stop giving us stuff that we learned in high school, in college.
I say, let's choose our own book.
I agree.
Because if it's something that you like, even if it's Superman or something like that, I see, no, but you know, if you're really into reading and you really like books, let people choose their own book. Let them bring their book from home or whatever, but they want to choose a book. But yeah, let them bring their own book.
And I mean, you never know. You know,
I mean, bring them nasty books to play.
You never know how Superman might hold weight, you know, to somebody.
To somebody, yeah.
And really, to be honest, Superman is smothering people. Just want to throw that out there. All right. So today, Bray and I just wanted to keep it simple, but, you know, also just give y'all some talk for the soul in regards to just a few books of our own that we have read and, you know, just have changed our lives. Like I said, it could be entertaining or it could be, you know, knowledgeable or you know, life-changing.
Yeah. It could be a fun book you want to just read right quick.
Yeah. Or, you know, it could just be a book that we just want to throw out there that's Black owned.
Yes, because, you know, the whole list is Black owned.
No, it's not.
Okay, maybe like two. Okay, maybe two of them not.
Okay, I'm about to say, I didn't see some of your list. No, it's not.
See, who's not Black? Oh, no.
Yeah.
One.
I mean,
I got two that
I
ain't
mean,
Black.
You know, he's Hispanic. So
Yeah, but I thought he was a part of the family.
Something like that.
I ain't even gonna speak Spanish. I thought about it. You know, I did that last time.
All right.
Okay, moving forward. Okay, let's get into these books.
So we're just gonna start with the one that I know that we both have first. Excuse me, which is Sacred Woman by Queen of Food. And we are actually still reading that book. And I will say that is not a book that you rush.
I think at first we were rushing that book.
Mm-hmm.
Because we're like, okay, this week we're in the book club. Well, I won't call it a book club. We're in a sacred circle. So we're all reading that together. And I feel like, yeah, we were rushed it in the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
And when you rush reading a book or whatever the case, paper, whatever the case may be, it's like it's with you, it sits with you, but it's like, no, I gotta go back and read it. I feel like I missed some stuff, or some stuff didn't sit with me and how I wanted to sit with me.
But I think we're gonna always go back to that book because
yes,
A Sacred Woman is by Queen Afua, and it is a book about tapping into really your sacredness as a woman. It is about learning how to eat better.
Yes.
It's about healing. It's about growing.
Motherhood.
Yes.
All of that.
It really is. You know, the latest chapter that we read was about the sacred movement. And so, you know, we were talking about these room dances, which is really, you know, similar to yoga.
Yes. So that's why, you know, a lot of them we already been doing. So it's like, oh, yeah, I did that. I've been checking them out.
Exactly. You know, we just learned a lot with that book, and we continue to learn a lot. And also what we were doing was journaling.
Yes.
When we first started the book, we were journaling. When we started the book, Bray was creating life, and just a lot of transitionings were going on within our lives and the women who are in the sacred circle. So we're just taking that book one day at a time.
Yes.
And you can follow her, Queen Afua, on Instagram. I know the book has become very popular since
because when I purchased it, I didn't see no one reading it. I didn't hear about the book. I was like, okay, we're gonna read it. Now I see, videos on, her page. I'm like, oh. I've seen her talk about, Lauren London's reading it.
Yes.
Erykah Badu. I was like, oh, so she's on.
Well, yeah. Well, actually, she's known Erykah Badu since she first came out.
See.
Now, Lauren London, I think Lauren London was actually one of the reasons why I became so knowledgeable because, after the unfortunate transition of Nipsey, Lauren London talked about how that book, just helped her.
Yeah.
With her healing, but also helped her with being a better woman, being a better mother to her boys. And so I recommend that all women read Sacred Woman by Queen Afua, no matter, what your ethnicity is. I think that it's just a book that allows you to tap into your divine feminine. Mm-hmm. And, we do have an episode on divine feminine. Check that out. What episode is that? 3. It's 3 because Shabazz is 4. So, yeah. Episode 3. Yep. Episode 3, check that out. We really do dive into talking about that divine feminine. And actually, in season 1, we do talk about the sacred woman. Ray was not there that day.
Yeah. I missed that episode. What was I doing?
He was out of town.
Okay.
She was out of town. We did have one of the women in our sacred circle, Empress Age, who was a part of that episode with me. So we just talked about, just the sacredness of a woman. And, she was also creating life at that time, too. So she was speaking on her journey. So y'all check that out. In addition to that, this book really is not on my list or her list, but I just want to plug it in because, I want to give the men something. So, her son has Man Heal Thyself.
I see.
Yes. So her son...
I have to go and purchase that for mine.
Yeah, for your king. I'm just going to that too. We're going to purchase that, and honestly, for your son, because your son will become a king. Read. Yeah, your son is a prince on his way to becoming a king, So
you gonna read, you heard me?
All right. No, when you look at this some years from now, you'll be like, I'm crazy.
I'm like, yes.
Remember that video I sent you earlier? Well, I sent it to you when you was moving.
But that's how I be. But I think on that one, brief intervention, I think on that one, I just be hearing stuff. It ain't nothing said.
So that's why they said it.
Yeah, ain't nothing said. And I still be, right? You call me?
Thank you.
You know you heard me call you.
We're going to have to talk about it.
We're
going to talk about parents. Parents and parenthood.
Parent episode. A parent. Yeah. A parent episode. Maybe we could bring a parent on. No. My mother crazy.
Anyway, I was going to digress. But, Man Heal Thyself is by Queen Afua's son. And I believe his name is Supernova.
Supernova for sure.
Supernova for sure.
Yeah, make sure.
Because I don't.
You know what?
I'm going off his Instagram name, but I know it's Supernova for sure. And honestly, you can find his name, and her name, and just find a video about them, a recent video, not about them, but with them speaking, to the audience and letting them know about both of their books on the Breakfast Club. So
what we can do, that's something you and I will discuss. But people whose books we are, saying in this video, we could just, at them, and so people can know, like, okay, here's so and so. If you choose to click on their page and check them out, feel free.
Where are we gonna add them at?
Not sure. I was gonna say Instagram. Like, how we do it on under, we'll put it under our post or in our description. So,
I'm fine with that. So, we'll do that. On Instagram, we'll do that. And then, might as well just talk about we have an episode. Would you like to write these books down like we do with the music?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so what we'll do...
We're going to plug y'all in, okay? We've been doing good in plugging y'all in, but we're going to plug y'all in.
We got y'all. So, for YouTube, we will write any book down that we are going to discuss, and we'll put it on YouTube. For Instagram, we will add those people.
Everyone. Yeah.
I don't know about everyone.
Just feel free.
Yeah.
All right. Moving on. Next
So,
book.
that was the book that we were talking about. You want to do the second book or your second book, and then I'll go?
We can do the one that these two right here that we have alike. Welcome to Haiti.
Okay, we can do that. We're gonna plug in our doula Deshawn of Harmonious Birthing, and she has actually written 2 books.
Yes,
and one of her books is actually the first book of its kind. So great.
All right, y'all. So we got. I'm gonna just say them both. We got Welcome to Haiti, and we got Our Home Birth with the Midwife.
And Our Home Birth with the Midwife is actually the first book that features a melanin midwife. So I think that's really important. It shows the dynamics of a melanin family and how they can have a home birth and how they can have a midwife and just the sacredness of that of man, woman, and child.
There's a lot of knowledge in these books. So y'all need to take a read with these. And read them to, not only yourself, but to your children.
Yeah, both of those books are actually children books.
Yeah.
They're also for adults, but, they are catered to children.
Yes. And our children need these books.
Yes.
Our children Black.
Yes. Our children need representation. They need to see
that we can write.
Yeah.
We can do it too. We do sometimes choose. That's not what we want. It's not what we want to do, but we can do it if we want to do it.
No,
and this is just proof that
they need to see that we are represented and not just through enslavement. Because if you're in public school, or if your child is going to public school or is in public school,
there's nothing wrong with it. Okay,
there's nothing wrong with public school,
but
your child is learning about enslavement. And here recently, they're trying to say that our people volunteered. So what we're saying is, there's just more books out there. You know what I'm saying? Our history didn't start with being enslaved. So books like this, Deshawn paints a picture of how we have midwifery in our community, and honestly, midwifery started with our people. And then even just talking about Haiti, Haiti gets a bad rep in the United States, but that's because Haiti didn't submit when those colonizers was going to territory, to each territory, trying to capture our people. Haiti, Haiti is what you really call it, did not submit. So, Deshawn, she talks about Haiti. And I think that's really beautiful.
I wish I brought it.
I wish you did. I don't have it, but I'm going to purchase that for my daughter because I want her to know that, we are represented everywhere.
And you can find those on Amazon. But my Welcome to Haiti, she signed that personally. So
she signed both.
I'm not sure if she signs it and sends it to me. No, I got this person. I went to her first. I'm trying to see if she signs it online and sends it to me.
Oh, I know she signed both books.
No, I mean, just because they want her to sign.
I don't know.
Come back to you on that.
We can come back to you on that. Or if you really want the book and you're serious about it, just DM us and we'll let you know. We
always plug her in on our page, so you'll see her. And if you see Deshawn, just know.
Yeah, Harmonious Birthing or see Ma Shani. Get into the distance. All right, what's the next book?
Moving on. All right. How to Eat to Live. I know you read that, right?
No, I haven't.
No. Well, then put it in. Well, it's a
we'll talk about it. It's okay, but no, I mean,
No, when I was reading it, I read it while I was, creating life, and I started it, and I was like, okay, I think I finished it before I crossed. And it was a good book. I'm not gonna say, but some stuff in there had me like, what?
I would have to read it.
Yeah, you're gonna have to read it because some stuff was just like, okay, it makes sense, but some stuff it's kind of like telling you. I wouldn't say it's telling you what to do, but it's telling you what to do.
Who is it by? Isn't it by Master Father Muhammad? Yeah. So
some stuff in there, I wasn't saying it wasn't true, but I was just like, it'll say like in one chapter, one section, say this, and then later on, it say, okay, we can't eat this or you can eat this, but in moderation. And I was just like.
So I would say the first thing that I know that the book says is don't eat swine.
It say that 10,000 times throughout the book. I'm like, okay, and me sitting there eating Chick-fil-A.
Well, I honestly, because it's a book by NOI Muslims. It's not a bad book. You know, I know about the book.
It's a great book.
I know about the book.
Blink twice if you hear me.
I know about the book. But you know, one thing that I have come to learn, let me say, do what you want to do.
That's what I learned at the end.
Do what makes you happy, but also be aware of what you're putting into your body.
Yes.
You know, even without reading the book, that's just what we've been learning, you know, on our journey, on our health journey.
Yeah,
is to just be aware of what you're putting in your body. But I also, because, you know, we was at a point where we were like, you know, we ain't going to eat meat and stuff like that. And I lied. You know what? I mean,
okay, I didn't lie, but you know, we've gotten better.
Yeah.
It has changed
We're
drastically.
more conscious of what we're putting in our body. But with creating life, you know, baby
You
girl
need to eat.
wanted some meat. Because I tried the, what is it? The Beyond Meat in my first trimester. And sis threw that up. Okay?
I think I had Beyond Meat probably once or twice.
Yeah.
While he was in the room.
Well, actually, you know, I just had it recently when we went to Houston Sauce Co. And, you know, she tore that up. You know?
Okay, so maybe.
But that was third trimester.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Maybe the beginning. She's like, girl, what is it?
Thank you. So, yes,
I mean,
wasn't feeling it. But, you know, I'm going to still read How to Eat to Live because I said that I said I was
just going to finish it, even though I was like over it.
Yeah.
But it's a good book.
And that's because
overall,
when it's all said and done, you know, that was his journey.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
Because
it's, I feel like times have changed since that book was written. Things have changed since that book. And that book kind of makes me think of the Sacred Woman book too, because she also puts in there things that you eat and things that I really like that. It's like a breakdown of what you can eat and what you can't eat and what's good for you. It was no breakdown in the How to Eat.
Yeah.
If it was broken down like that, I'd be like, oh, okay, that's fine. But it was really a good book though. Overall, I was glad I finished it.
Yeah. And I'm glad you finished it too, because at least, you know, you got that perspective.
Yeah.
That can help you with how you're eating.
Yeah. Help me with my moderation. Because then I was like, okay, I took some pointers from it. And that's what you do with reading. Take some pointers from it. If you don't want all the pointers, that's fine.
Exactly.
Just take what you feel like resonates with you and go about your business.
Exactly. And as, you know, the good queen, the great ancestor Maya Angelou said, everything in moderation, even moderation. Never get twisted. All right, so
what you got?
Well, we can do that book together.
Which one?
The Four Agreements, which is by Miguel Don Ruiz. Yeah, I did finish that.
All right.
What I haven't started, because I see you got it, is The Mastery of Love.
I started, but I didn't finish.
I said I would start that, you know, once I get settled into motherhood. But it's a short book, but The Four Agreements is a really good book.
And I know I didn't finish it. I'm still working on it.
You didn't finish it? No. Well, I mean,
but I started, but I really liked it when I started. So I was like,
no rush. I was reading that book while I was at work. But
I was working. That's why I wanted to read it.
Yeah, I love that.
Which is why I got also The Mastery of Love. It's like four books. What you think?
The Mastery of Love too. I don't know. Matter of fact, I do know. There's this woman on she did a funny character, but there's this woman on Instagram that I follow.
Yes.
She
shout out to you because you funny.
But you real as fuck. Just to keep it 100%. You real.
Some anime thing. But no, she be talking her, but you be listening.
Yeah. So she actually, when I started following her, she was talking about how the Four Agreements really changed her life. And it really does, and you should read it. There's literally 4 agreements. I don't think I'm going to put them in order. I don't even know if I remember 2 of them because pregnancy brain. But I know, I think the first one is be impeccable with your word, and the last one is always do your best. And I think one of the middle ones, 2 or 3, is don't take things personal. And I really want to get off 4 of them because they really resonated with me.
And that's my question. Do they have to be in order? Or you just need to just...
They
can just be in any order. But I mean,
wait,
book-wise, I know it goes
in order. Oh, you mean like reading the books? I would say...
I mean, they all still resonate with you.
Yeah, and I would say don't put them in order.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So I'm just gonna give you the 4 agreements, but you're gonna have to actually go get the book to dive into, you know,
The
what
breakdown.
it means. Yeah, the breakdown. So, like I said, the first one is be impeccable with your word. The second one is don't take anything personally. The third one is don't make assumptions, and the fourth one is always do your best.
Yeah, I made it to 2.
But you got time because that book is really life changing literature. Well, I mean, you know, all of them really have been, but I would say, like, for sure,
That's like the
Sacred Woman by Queen Afua, life changing. The 4 Agreements and How to Eat to Live. You know,
those are really some good books.
Yeah, and like they're going to change your perspective of life. I guarantee you that if you read those 3 books so far that we have talked about, and even really all the books we've talked about, you know, but Queen Afua, Sacred Woman by Queen Afua, you're gonna gain something from it. It's gonna change your perspective in some way. You know, the 4 Agreements. I think the 4 Agreements just helps you navigate through life without feeling burdened.
Yeah.
You know, without feeling like you owe anyone anything or that something is owed to you. It allows you to just navigate through life. It allows you to flow like water. You flow. And How to Eat to Live. You know, I just said, though she's not gonna just follow the book, you know, verbatim.
You just pick out what works for you.
Exactly.
That's how I slowly started to change how I was eating. But I'm like, you know, some stuff I'm just moderation. We're really in moderation of how we eat, what we eat, and that's, you know, great. Because now I don't even know if I got it from that book. I don't know. I probably got it from you, but I don't eat all my food. I only eat when I'm like satisfied, not full, but satisfied.
Yeah, I don't do that.
I'll save it for later if need be, or if not, if I know I'm not gonna eat it, I just, you know, throw it away.
And that's what Americans, we do that a lot. We overeat.
Yeah, that's been my problem, overeating, because I'm like, Mom, I paid for this, I'm gonna finish it.
Yeah.
You know? And I'm sure it was probably How to Eat to Live, but also mentioned it too. So yeah, see, take what you want from the food, take what you need, lie on back,
and allow it to mold you. You know, just allow it to mold you and keep it pushing. So yeah, so that's the book. You know, that was my 3rd book, so we can do that together. What's your 4th book? Well, The Mastery of Love. So you can talk about that, and then I'll talk about mine.
Well, The Mastery of Love, I wrote it down.
Yeah,
I didn't read it. But
okay.
It's a good book. I like to read, you know, the inside when they write it on the inside, and I like to read the back of the books.
Okay.
But I knew that this was the second book from the 4 Agreements, so I was like, let me pick this up because once I ain't finished, don't judge my life. Once I get to finish, then I'm moving on to the back. But you know, that's really good. Reading the back of it, I was like, okay. And I read the reviews. You know, like read your reviews. I read the reviews, and I was like, okay, I can pick this up.
Yeah.
But yeah,
she has also read that. She is in Queen Ajna. So I was like, you know, I'm gonna get it too. You know, because after reading the 4 Agreements, I was like, damn.
Did you get it?
Yeah, they had it. I was like,
I got it. We all ordered it.
We ordered it all together. I just haven't, you know, read it either. Life has been different creating life.
That's good that we're picking up these books.
Yes.
Create you a nice little bookshelf or a little section where you can just go ahead and, you know, when you find time. There's no rush in reading these books. We're going to get to these. Okay? But find time for yourself to read maybe a few pages a day or, you know, 1 book a week or something. Yeah, you know, ain't no rush.
And that's what I want to get back into, and I will, you know.
Yeah, but because I'm gonna catch up and I'm come back to tell y'all how I'm doing.
Yeah, I'm sure we can always
just tell y'all how I'm
doing this. But yeah, so The Mastery of Love, we still suggest that you get it. It is also by Miguel Don Ruiz, and it does come after the 4 Agreements. I would say read the 4 Agreements first, only because I think it sets the tone for every other book.
Yeah, and that's why I only read, you know, so much, and I haven't touched the other books because I haven't finished the 4 Agreements. And the 4 Agreements right now got my attention. So.
And you have time. That's one thing I will throw out there. Don't rush. And I think we said this earlier.
Yeah, I like to read out loud.
You know, I don't.
I don't know. I like to read to myself, but then I like to read out loud, like when I'm in book bath or something like that.
Okay, well, yeah, I like that.
Like, I'll be real sensual with you.
But there is no rush when it comes to reading these life-changing literatures. Take your time.
Yeah, take notes if you want. Highlight if it's your book. Highlight.
Yeah. I didn't highlight the books that wasn't mine. All right. So the next book that I will recommend all my melanin people to read in real true life, and not even just my melanin people, but I know that this book, this author, she does talk to melanin people. It's called Salvation by Bell Hooks, and that book is literally about it's about the Black family. You know, it's about the family dynamic, and I don't even know when Bell Hooks wrote that book, but it's about how we've gotten to where we are now. And she was talking in her time. I think she wrote it, I think it was in the 90s, but it still resonates in 2021. And I read it in 2019, and it resonated then. It resonates now in 2021. And you know, it just talks about our love for one another, but also, I don't want to say hate, but you know, also just the issues that the melanin families have. You know, she talks about slavery, how that's you know played a part in just our family dynamics, and it's a really good book. And I wish I should have got the book, but if you do want like some quotes and stuff like that from the book, then you know, just holla at me. I'm just gonna look right now because that's what I do anyway. I do that anyway because I really want to just find a quote from that book because that book is really powerful. Salvation by Bell Hooks. And honestly, somebody gave me that book. They just knew that it would. And I'm gonna buy them a new book. I'm gonna buy it. You highlighted it. I highlighted it and I wrote in it. But when they gave it to me, the cover was already falling off, so I was like, throw this away. The cover, not the book. Yeah. So I was like, you know what? Because they probably like, that heifer ain't never give me back my book. So I was like, I'm gonna buy them the book, a brand new spacing, and I'm gonna be like, here, I ain't. They probably won't want it, but they probably take if they ain't bought another one already. No, because he didn't read it. Oh, well, I'm saying maybe he bought it. He could have. Shit, I don't even know if it was his book. You remember? He's out here stealing books, y'all. You remember Tyler, my oldest twin? I remember them. Yeah, so he gave me the book in 2017, girl. Yeah, you want that book back. You be wasting this. Save it. I want to find one. Ooh, that's good, sis. I don't even remember reading that thing. I'm going to have to read that book again because that book really speaks volumes. It says vulnerability is the least celebrated emotion in our society. Now, see how that still plays a part in 2021? Yeah, that's it. That's it. Like, that's a good quote. Yes, go read that book. There's also. I'm gonna have to read it myself. Look, I'm gonna have another book. You know, I mean, you didn't read some of these. Okay, so there's another book that I've been hearing from Bell Hooks. I'm gonna buy that one that I have not read before, but since I've read Salvation, I think that we all should read it too. I think I want to plug it in. It's called All About Love. And from what I have seen, I've actually seen the Hood Healer talk about it. And then somebody else. I don't know, but I was following him by way of somebody else I was following. And he was just talking about how All About Love by Bell Hooks, it really just teaches us how to love again. Mm-hmm. So that is really beautiful. Really beautiful. Just it really touches the soul. But I would, suggest reading Salvation for sure. Because if you're a melanin man and a melanin woman, you need to read that book because you need to be reminded. In a sense, I'm sure it kind of is like all about love, even though I haven't read that book. But you need to be reminded how to love. You need to be reminded of how to be vulnerable, of how to feel. Because society. Yeah, they've made it seem like being vulnerable, especially the melanin man. Yeah, exactly. Y'all can't be vulnerable. That's the problem in a lot of relationships, even friendships. I'm just saying, they act like they can't be vulnerable. If you can't be vulnerable, we can't be. They made us, we ain't gonna work. They've made us very cold. Yeah, like cold-hearted, like mean. But you ain't got to do all that. You don't have to be that. You can be vulnerable. You can still be, strong-willed and all of that, and rah. This ain't no rah.
You know, you could be all of that and still be, you know, sensitive and sensual. You could be all of those things for certain people. You don't have to be that for everybody. But just know that all the military folks can be vulnerable. And it's okay. Just don't let people take advantage of your vulnerability.
Exactly. No, that's true. But you gotta be willing to be vulnerable.
You have to.
That's how you build connections. Period. Relationships. All right, what you got?
My last two, you know, grown folk books. The Zane books, and then, you know, the Cartel. I have one of those books. I've read 1, 2, 3, and 4.
So those are like your entertainment books.
Yeah, they not, you know, they still. Yeah, they was my entertainment. Try to even put it in.
You know
like
about
that.
Zane.
I ain't entertainment. Why I ain't never go too far detail into Zane. Just the name itself. Y'all know. We just gonna say the Zane books, but those
if you really
don't
catch
know.
your attention, you're too young, and don't go find
the book. But don't go find the books. But no, they're really good. I like books that, you know, make me think and make me just sit. Like, I just like to sit by myself and just read. And those 2 books are the book royals, really 5. Those 5 books. Well, shoot, Zane got a lot of books. The Cartel 1, 2, 3, 4, and the Zane books. There you go. Them are the books that I need to sit by myself. Don't talk to me. Don't even look my way, because I like to envision what's going on. I'm like, that ain't right. So,
So I'm gonna do my entertainment books too.
Yeah,
I do got a little bit.
But them were my last 2, but I ain't even gonna go into detail about those. But the Cartel was really good books, though.
Yeah,
because it was really telling about, you know, drugs. I mean, don't be reading those if you're children. This ain't for you. But it was a good book. Obviously, I read 1, 2, 3, and 4, so it kept me entertained.
Yeah.
Because I was like, I was borrowing these books, y'all. I was borrowing one by one. I was on, you know, he was making sure I didn't scratch up his little books.
First of all, not scratch up.
No, he's like, don't bend the cover. And then he was like, when I returned one of them, he was like, you can bend the cover and stuff. I was like, I really didn't. It was a scratch on the book.
That's what's going to happen with books.
Like writing, you know how like you're not writing on the book, but you're writing on top of the book, you're talking about the markings on the book.
First of all, sir.
Friend.
Anyway.
But I appreciate you for letting me borrow those books. I had to just stop getting them because I held that last one for too long.
Did you finish it?
Yeah, I finally finished it, but I was like, let me pass the book back because I don't think I'm stealing.
Well, it was obviously an interesting series since you read them all the books.
It's your entertainment books, but you know,
I like books like that.
What you got?
So I have The Coldest Winter by Sister Soldier. That was a bomb ass book, and it's similar, if you will, to The Cartel, like similar in the fashion. It was about
money, drugs, and
all of that.
It
was about all of that, but you know, that book's been out for a while. Mm-hmm. I know a lot of people who have read that book. Actually, I heard that she is coming out with a part 2 to The Coldest Winter, and I think it's Jada Pinkett Smith who will be narrating it. So that's very interesting. But read The Coldest Winter first. It was a really good book. Just to make a long story short, it's about a woman who, unfortunately, like I think her dad, when she was growing up, was caught in that lifestyle, and so then she grows up and she gets caught in the lifestyle, and you know, she's still trying to navigate through being a woman, you know, but also in that lifestyle, you know, Daddy had money, but you know. Things like that do catch up with you. Yeah. So it just shows how it caught up with her. And, girl, like, it was a really good book. Like, you know, she was messing with a married man and all of this. But it was a good book. So,
them be the good books that keep
you know, tap into that. And then another book that I read is it's called Fly Girl by Omar Tyree. And it's honestly, it came after The Coldest Winter. But I feel like Omar Tyree kind of just was inspired by Sister Soldier because it really has some similarities as well, you know. And
keep them kind of books going.
Yeah, I really think y'all should read both of those books. I mean, it really speaks to, you know, things that we either been through or we know others have been through, or that we've just seen. Excuse me. Like it really speaks to that. Now, I do have another entertainment book, but it's not entertaining like that. But it's entertainment in the sense of poetry. I'm a big fan of poetry, and this book is called Because of a Woman by Melanda Jean Claude. I think that's how you pronounce his last name, but it's for sure Melanda. And Because of a Woman is a really beautiful poetry book. I'll let you read it. I don't know if you ever read it, but it speaks volume. Because of a Woman.
Yeah, I seen that.
You did? Seen it where?
Did I give it back?
Oh no, I had to. But I don't know if you had finished it or not.
No,
girl, I took it.
I should take it.
Because that book,
that takes stuff that is playing, y'all.
I thought she was done with it. Because it's not that long. It's not a long book at all.
Yeah, maybe no.
It's probably like 100 pages at the most. You know? But it's a really beautiful book.
When I didn't know you took it.
You just had it sitting on the...
Yeah, that's what I said. You just took it back and I didn't know.
You just had it sitting on your... Yes, I was like...
She taking stuff and I'm not even knowing to today.
I'll let you read.
But you know, hold on to it. Let me finish the other book I took.
It was 100 pages.
It's okay. I got a book that I need to read. I'll give back. You can just swap when I'm finished.
I don't even know that book.
She don't even know. I think it's something about being a successful woman. But I don't know if it's how to be a successful Black woman.
I don't think I've read that book. I think that book was given to me by
somebody. Yeah, it's a guy writing it and stuff.
Yeah, that ain't my book. But I'll take a book, But Because of a Woman, it's beautiful poetry, and you can actually find him on Instagram and Twitter. I found him on Twitter, and when I saw that he was coming out with this book, because you know how like some people on Twitter, how like they record poetry and they post it and stuff. Yeah. I really like that. Like he was recording himself, and I was like, and just even his tweets, I was like, he really resonates with my soul. And obviously he resonates with a lot of women, which is why he wrote the book Because of a Woman. And the dedication is to his mother. So he has like a deep reverence for women, for the melanin woman. So I love that.
I like those kind of books.
Exactly. It's a beautiful book. And it's a book of poetry and spoken word. Like he even has a part where he tells a story about how he loved two different women. And I just really thought that was beautiful, So those are my 3 entertainment books. And
like Kitty books name.
Okay.
Because I'm not going to be going into detail. I'm just telling the names. If they want to pick them, they want to pick them up,
So, 2 books that I read in 2020 that spoke volumes. And whenever you want to read them, you can. They ain't no short books, though. But they spoke volumes. They are The Celestian Prophecy and The 10th Insight by James Redfield. And, it was funny because that's when the pandemic happened. That's when I started reading those books. And those books were actually gifted to me. Like, it takes time. You gotta take your time.
You have enough time if you started reading them.
Well, yeah, that's when I started reading the books because, I bought the 4 Agreements myself. But The Celestian Prophecy and The 10th Insight were gifted to me on my solar return, or during my solar return of 2018. I didn't read them until 2020. But yeah, we had time during the pandemic. And I had time because, I worked at a job where I sat at the desk. Mm-hmm. So when I had finished my work, I was just like, well, let me read, And that's good. It made time go faster, you know what I'm saying? So The Celestian Prophecy and The 10th Insight is basically about finding your soul's purpose. Really, The Celestian Prophecy is more so about, finding your soul's purpose. And they're both about tapping into this energy and this frequency. You know what I'm saying? But The 10th Insight is so significant to what's going on right now for me because it's about, I'm not going to give you all of it, but it's like basically about these people in government creating this machine that basically takes your soul away from you. So when I thought about how that resonated, and I don't give a damn about your opinions on what I'm about to say, keep it to yourself. But when I thought about that, I was like, damn, that reminds me of the vaccination. Or whatever y'all want to call it, because from what I am seeing right now in 2021 about what this vaccine is doing is, I remember seeing an article when they first started doing the test trials or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
When they first started doing it, I saw an article that was titled, "This man said after receiving the vaccine, he felt like he couldn't feel God anymore." And if that don't speak volumes to you, when it comes to being poked and stuff,
right? You created a whole article.
Like a whole article was created about a man saying that he does not feel God anymore. I've even read some recent things about the vaccine. I ain't gonna say no more, but I read some recent things about how if a woman gets it, it's affecting your ovaries. It's affecting even the milk, your milk supply. Because, we should be drinking, now, not in adult years, but the only milk you really should be drinking is the milk that comes from a human. You shouldn't drink cow milk. Why would you do that? But anywho, so the 10th insight, it really speaks volume. And then the 10th insight also, in addition to talking about that machine that the government was trying, because it's a story. Mm-hmm. It's like a story within a story, if that makes sense. Yeah. So it's a story, and it talks about how that machine, is basically, the machine was trying to lower people's energy and frequencies. But I feel like that's what they're doing now with wearing the mask, with the vaccination, and just with all the turmoil that's going on right now. It's the whole pandemic. Yes, pandemic. Reflux. But then it also talked about your soul group, and also talked about how, which I agree with this, in some form or fashion. It talked about your soul group, which means like people, like who are creators or artists, designers, like those people, in a sense, are your soul group because y'all resonate in soul on, what y'all have been brought here to do. And then it also talked about how you saw, like you chose the life that you're living. Like you saw the life that you chose, but there was a reason why you chose this life. In a sense, it was like reincarnation or regeneration. But they're very beautiful books. They're by James Redfield. I don't know if I said that. And honestly, for him to be it's a peak man, but for him to be a European, because that's what he is. He might be European man, whatever. For him to be European, I was like, damn, like he knew some things, and he wrote those books. He wrote those books in the 90s, so it's just funny how.
Tell your opinion enough.
Exactly. It's just funny how books speak to your everyday life. They speak to everyday life or everyday events that we might see, in the news or on social media. Now, I got like 3 more. All right. So then my next book, I have not finished this book, but I'm going to plug this in for my melanin folk. And really for the white folk too. See, I said it like that. For the white folk too. Scratching my back. But y'all might need to read this so y'all can get some idea of y'all people. This book is The ISIS Papers by Dr. Francis Cresswellson. So I'm going to just say it like this. The ISIS Papers is about how, and she is, I believe she was a psychology major. Like this woman is a thick ass book. That's why I ain't finished it. I ain't finished it because it's a thick book. But she talks about how, she talks about racism. And basically she was doing studies in the 70s for sure. I think the 60s, 70s for sure. And then I believe somewhat of the 80s and 90s. For sure the 70s, because I believe that's when that book came out. She was talking about how basically white people, I'm saying white people because now we in America, white people are basically races, not because they're superior, but because they are inferior. And before I even read the book, I had found her in 2016. Everything comes full circle. I had found like this video of her in 2016. I was like, damn, she's speaking some real. So I got notes too. So if y'all ever want to go talk with me, I will pull out my notes and the book, because I didn't see documentaries and all of that. But she was talking about how it's not white superiority. That's not what y'all have. It's white inferiority. You have white genetic inferiority, because when it's all said and done, I gotta go back to science. Hold on. We are the dominant. We are the dominant gene. Y'all have the recessive gene. Y'all ever heard the saying, the black of the berry, the sweeter the juice? Yeah. Okay, so really the darkest person, because I know people be laughing at that, but the darkest person who has the most melanated in them, who has the most melanin in them, who's the most melanated, is really the dominant gene. Or I can put it like this. When you see a black man insert his rod, like when a black man creates life with any type of woman, be it a white woman, an Asian woman, a Hispanic woman, how is that baby gonna come out? Oh, okay. Just being honest with y'all. And this woman wasn't speaking like, she wasn't like this queen, this ancestor. She wasn't speaking down on white people. She was just laying out facts. So I would finish that book. I just don't know when. But like I said, I got notes before I even read the book. So I was like, damn, this makes sense. Because she was even talking about how, she was like, notice they basically, what this world tries to push out, the narrative that they want to push out, is they want to get black men and white women together. You know what I'm saying?
I think that I see it more often now than
exactly.
Before.
Exactly. They want to
reproduce.
Exactly. And that's okay to each your own. Love who you love. But for all the racist people out there, what she's basically saying is, you guys treat us the way that we do, or the way that y'all do, because y'all feel inferior to us. So it's not really white supremacy. Mm-hmm. It's white inferiority. You know what I'm saying? Because let's be real. Do we have children listening to this? Watching this?
Well, usually I just put not for kids.
Okay, this one not gonna be for kids. Let's just be they ain't gonna be for kids. Period. Parents, even get your kids the children books, because it's not for kids. Because what I'm about to say is real. What they say? White women, they be picking black men. They're like, they got big feet and stuff like that. Y'all know what big feet mean. White men don't have that. Sorry, but y'all. We know what the melanin men have. We know what the black men have. Those black guys have.
But I did see some. I don't know where I seen that. I probably seen it somewhere. You probably sent it to me. I don't know. But the white folk, like you say, they are. I'm not gonna say depreciated, but it's not many of them left.
Yeah, and matter of fact,
so that's why they choose the melanin men over. It's usually. But melanin men to reproduce.
Exactly. I don't know if I've seen that on a video or something, but that's the truth. Yeah, that's the truth. And she talks about that too. Like, eventually, no offense to y'all, but it's the reality. Eventually, there won't be a full white race, for those who be talking about, the Aryan race, the pure race. Y'all not even a pure race. Shut up. Like, it's the truth. Eventually, everyone will be mixed, if you will. Everyone will be melanin. And honestly, white people, y'all are melanin. Y'all just like the lowest of the low. No offense. Y'all just have a very low amount of melanin. But eventually, there won't be like a full white person who is on this planet. Everyone will have a much stronger dosage, if you will, of melanin in them. So I think the ISIS paper is something that we should all read. And that book was actually given to me too in 2019. And I knew who she was. And I was like, damn, because when it was somebody who I went to TSU with, and he was much older than me. think he was like my mom's age, but he was like, yeah, it's a really good book. I think you should read it. He was like, you know who Dr. Francis Chris Wilson is? And I was like, yeah, I do. So when he started telling me about her, I was like, oh, I got some notes on this. Now the book is thick, but I'm gonna finish reading it. And I suggest y'all do the same.
Tap in. All right, moving on to the children's book. It's only a few that I know. Are you all black owned? Everyone is black owned except for Porter. Porter up. Remember the bear with the orange? With the green. Anywho, moving on. We got Daddy's Arms. We got Corduroy. We got Leo Can Swim. Leo Loves Baby Time. Please, Baby, Please. And Peekaboo Morning. Okay, these is all black owned except for Corduroy. I'm sure. Okay. These are the kids. These is for the kiddies. Okay, tap your kids in too. Oh, and hold on. Please, Baby, Please. Y'all should really get that one. That's by Spike Lee and his wife.
Really?
Yeah.
I want that one. I think you told me about that.
Yeah, girl, that's a good book. So get that one, y'all. I like that one.
Okay. And last but certainly not least, I am going to end it with The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho. That is a great book about discovering your treasure, but coming to the realization. What? Hey,
it's okay.
Coming to the realization that your treasure and your gift has always been within. It's really a journey back to you, back to self, and just realizing that all that you are searching for in this life really exists here. Okay? So that concludes life-changing literature.
Yes. We put y'all on today.
We really did. Hosted by Soul Talk Majestically Eternal Conversations, and featuring She's Soulful and _Natural Honey with 3 wives. Don't forget the 3 wives. We love y'all to life. We appreciate you all for tuning in. I know this was a lengthy episode, but we just wanted to give you guys some insight on books that you can read, and maybe you can share them with others if you've already tapped into those reads. Mm-hmm. But just don't forget to keep reading. Yeah, reading it makes the world go round. You learn new things about yourself when you're reading, or you just rediscover things that you probably have lost while navigating through this journey. Okay, we love y'all. It's all love. Stay tuned for the final episode of season 2. It's going to be a beautiful one. Yes. And like I said before, stay tuned for season 3. We're still cooking it up. It's just that we're going to take us a break. Peace.
Peace.